In this video, we will talk about an American businessman and business mogul best known for founding the Ford Motor Company and championing the development of mass manufacturing techniques such as the assembly line. After his death, he left a tremendous legacy. He was a prolific inventor who received 161 US patents. As the sole owner of the Ford Motor Company, he rose to become one of the world's wealthiest and most well-known individuals. Hello and welcome to the channel. Please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing to the channel. That would motivate us to create more quality content, such as the one you're about to watch. His early life. Henry Ford was born on July 30th, 1863, on the family farm outside Dearborn, Michigan, to William Ford and Mary Liddegott Ahren. He was the oldest of 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. His father, William, was an Irish native who fled the Irish potato famine in 1847 with 2 borrowed IR pounds and a set of carpentry tools to come to the United States. His mother, Mary, was born in Michigan, the youngest child of Belgian immigrants. The United States was in the midst of a civil war when Henry Ford was born. Ford attended the Scottish Settlement School and the Miller School, both of which had only one classroom. The Scottish Settlement School was later relocated to Ford's Greenfield village and opened to the public. Ford was especially close to his mother, and when she died in 1876, his father expected Henry to take over the family farm. He despised farm work, saying afterwards, "I never had any particular passion for the farm. It was the mother on the farm that I liked." Following the harvest in 1878, Ford abruptly departed the farm, going without permission to Detroit, where he stayed with his father's sister, Rebecca. He obtained work at the Michigan Car Company Works, but was dismissed after 6 days and forced to return home. In 1879, William arranged for Henry to work as an apprentice at the James Flower and Brothers machine shop in Detroit for 9 months. He quit that job to work for the Detroit Dry Dock Company, a forerunner in iron ships, and Bessemer Steel. Because neither job paid him enough to afford his rent, he accepted a night job cleaning and fixing watches at a jeweler. In 1882, Henry Ford returned to the farm, where he ran a tiny movable steam threshing machine for a neighbor, the Westinghouse agricultural engine. He was very excellent at it, and the firm employed him to operate and repair engines built and marketed in Michigan and northern Ohio during the summers of 1883 and 1884. The road to the Model T. By the early 1890s, Ford was certain he would build a horseless vehicle. He didn't know enough about electricity, so he went to work for the Edison Illuminating Company in Detroit in September 1891. Ford was elevated to the chief engineer after the birth of his first and only son, Edsel, on November 6, 1893. By 1896, Ford had completed his first operational horseless carriage, dubbed a quadricycle. He sold it to fund the development of a better model, a dispatch cart. Ford submitted a patent for a carburetor on April 17, 1897, and the Detroit Automobile Company was founded on August 5, 1899. Ford resigned from the Edison Illuminating Company 10 days later. On January 12, 1900, the Detroit Automobile Company unveiled the delivery cart, Henry Ford's first commercial automobile, Ford Motor Company, and the Model T. In 1903, Ford founded the Ford Motor Company, declaring, "I will make a car for the vast multitude." He did so in October 1908, when the first Model T went off the assembly line. Ford numbered his models according to the letters of the alphabet. However, not all of them were produced. Initially priced at $950, the Model T gradually dropped to $280 throughout its 19-year production run. In the United States alone, about 15 million copies were sold, setting a record that would remain for the next 45 years. The Model T signaled the start of the motor age. Ford's breakthrough was a car that transitioned from a luxury item for the wealthy to a necessary mode of transportation for the average man, which the ordinary man could afford and maintain on his own. By 1918, half of the automobiles in the United States were Model Ts, thanks to Ford's nationwide advertising campaign. Every new Model T was painted black. Ford famously stated in his book, "Any customer can have an automobile painted any color he likes as long as it is black." While Ford did not originate the assembly line, he championed it and used it to transform American industrial processes. By 1914, his Highland Park, Michigan, the plant was using cutting-edge manufacturing techniques to produce a whole chassis every 93 minutes. This marked a significant improvement above the previous production time of 728 minutes. Ford made enormous advances in production and personal wealth by utilizing a constantly moving assembly line, labor subdivision, and careful coordination of activities. Ford started paying his employees $5 per day in 1914, roughly double the rates paid by competing manufacturers. He reduced the workday from 9 to 8 hours to transition the manufacturing to a 3-shift schedule. Ford's mass production methods would eventually enable the construction of a Model T every 24 seconds. His inventions made him a global celebrity. By 1926, dwindling Model T sales convinced Ford that a new model was required. Even as the manufacture of the Model T Ford came to an end on May 27, 1927, Ford was already hard at work developing its successor, the Model A. The Model A, the V8, and the Tri-Motor. Ford concentrated on the engine, chassis, and other mechanical elements when building the Model A. While his son Edsel developed the body, Ford, who had a little formal background in mechanical engineering, delegated much of the Model A's actual design to a competent team of engineers working under his guidance and careful supervision. In December 1927, the first successful Ford Model A was introduced. More than 4 million Model A's had gone off the assembly line by the time manufacture terminated in 1931. At this moment, Ford decided to follow General Motors' marketing lead and present annual model upgrades as a means of increasing sales. The Ford-owned Universal Credit Corporation grew into a large car financing operation during the 1930s. With the breakthrough flathead Ford V8, the first low-priced 8-cylinder engine, Ford turned the car industry on its head when the company's design was altered for 1932. For the next 20 years, variants of the flathead V8 would be employed in Ford automobiles with its power and dependability, making it a famous engine among hot rod manufacturers and car collectors. With his health deteriorating, Ford retired in September 1945 and handed over the president of the firm to his grandson, Henry Ford II. Henry Ford died on April 7, 1947 at the age of 83 of a brain hemorrhage at his Fairlane house in Dearborn, Michigan. At a public viewing held at Greenfield Village, more than 5,000 people each hour filled past his casket. Ford was laid to rest in Detroit's Ford Cemetery following funeral ceremonies at Detroit's Cathedral Church of St. Paul. Despite being known for the Model T, Ford was a restless guy with numerous side interests that led to successful inventions. What part of Ford's life or legacy inspired you the most? We would be in the comments section reading your replies. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.